There you go. Goes with your mustache.
Some of you are going to be disappointed to hear this now, but I am not Pablo Escobar's gay little brother. I can see it in your eyes. I know what you're thinking. The answer is no. You won't find me in the parking lot after the show selling blowjobs and cocaine, so don't come looking for them. You see, I don't really know what's going to make you guys laugh. I'm not from here. I didn't grow up down here, and I live in Pasco County. And I don't get to do all the cool stuff that kids do growing up in Pasco County. Like, I've never wrestled an alligator, and no one's ever asked me to leave Publix. I never starred on an episode of Live PD, and I've never done meth on purpose. I have never had to Narcan either of my parents, and I was not raised by my grandparents, so I've been having a hard time fitting in with my neighbors. But I have found that we do agree on some things. Like, something that's really fun that we all like to do down here is I too like to take my grandparents to the strip club. My grandma, she always has a ton of ones on her, and they're a fun time. And also, we try to support my sisters as much as possible. Now, do we have any Greek people in the house here tonight? Where are my Greeks at? No? Okay. Well, if you're Greek and you're under the age of 40, there is a very good chance that I fucking hate your parents. You see, for my job, I have to work a lot with the people of Tarpon Springs. We're pretty close to there. That's their headquarters. And for some reason, I think I might look Turkish or something, and they just hate me. Like, they absolutely hate my guts. They're always trying to get me in trouble at work and stuff. And, like, I really just try to be polite and nice and do my job, but they're so mean to me, I have to go home and write nasty jokes about them. So you guys, I can't afford like BetterHelp.com or a psychiatrist, so you guys get to hear my bullshit. You see, my problem is like I'm being nice to them and everything, but they're just very cheap and mean and vulgar. Like if you get close enough to one, like they have the breath of like a 15-year-old chihuahua that only eats cat poop. It's like, I've eaten Greek food many times. My breath does not smell like that afterwards. I don't know what they're eating, but I want to start handing out like those spray mint bottles that you can get for your breath, and we can just unload on those guys. Just march down to Tarpon Springs, and we'll take care of them, guys. Now, also, like, I get that they invented democracy, but I'm pretty sure they probably invented pedophilia too. So it's like, what the heck, guys? If they didn't invent it, they at least tried to make it cool, and like, I'm totally against that. Like, I think that's wrong. Don't do that, guys, you know? So, yeah, sorry, I just had a rough day at work, and I'm taking out on an entire race of people. Now, is weed still cool down here? I feel like most of the people in Florida have moved on to like fentanyl, but I think weed is still cool in some circles, you know. In Michigan, I work on a pot farm, and it was a really fun time. I worked for my best friend's uncle. The best way to describe him, I don't know if this word's cancelable yet, but I would call him a crazy redneck. Now, I know some hillbilly in the back is like, hey, MF, I resent that word, but if you really want to argue with me about it, you know where to find me after the show. Now, I worked for this guy for a long time. He was a great boss, and his house is awesome. It's like in the middle of nowhere. It's halfway between like a PETA member's nightmare and an outdoorsman's dream. He's got all types of fishing boats and dead deer mounted everywhere. He's got every gun you can think of. He's got ATVs, he's got RVs, he's got labs, he's got chocolate labs, he's got yellow labs, he's got dab labs, he's got meth labs. There might even be a gain of function research lab somewhere on this guy's property. Now, I worked for him for a long time, but the thing is, I hate being cold. In Michigan, it's cold as heck all the year round, except for about 90 days. So I had to find a way to be able to move down to Florida. In my mind, I always thought Florida was like a giant Disney World just surrounded by beaches, and I was kind of right about that, but I wasn't told about like all the old people and the math and stuff like that. But I do love living down here. But I had to find a way to see, I'm an uneducated, degenerate piece of shit, so like, to be able to provide for myself down here, I had to find like a stable job. And I found out if you're not fully like, you know, a complete dumbass, like you could get your Class A CDL pretty easy. So that's what I did. I went and got my truck driving license, and I was able to move anywhere and get had to break the news to my great employer and mentor, this crazy redneck. And this guy, he's always got like predictions, and he's giving the worst advice all the time. And he was very upset about losing a worker that doesn't steal. And he looks me up and down, and he's like, so where are you going? I said, I'm moving to Florida. And he says, how are you going to do that? And I said, I'm going to drive a semi-truck down there. And he looks me up and down, and he says, you know what? You want to drive a semi-truck? I guarantee within your first 6 months, these 4 things are going to happen to you. 1, you're going to gain over 50 pounds. 2, you're going to get an STD from a lot lizard. That's a hook at a truck stop. I had to Google it. 3, you're going to have hemorrhoids hanging out your butt this long. And 4, you are going to take someone's life in a vehicle accident. Now that guy might think he knows everything, but guess what? I only gained 45 pounds, so fuck him. You know what I'm saying? All in all, you know, I'm just trying to chase my dreams down here, and I got 3 sisters, and there's some dream chasers as well. You see my sisters? I really love my sisters. They're awesome, but they can be a lot. You see, how do I say this? My sisters, they're so different. They're all different shapes and sizes, intelligence levels, and, you know, attitude levels. But one thing all 3 of my sisters have in common is all 3 of them are whores. Okay, now they're different kinds of whores, so hear me out. Like, for instance, we've got my first sister. She's what we would call an Instagram whore. Okay, she like always just posts like a bunch of pictures all the time. Like, she claims to be a fitness model, and like she was, you know, the prom queen in high school. Every dude wants her number. She won't give you the time of day. But if you subscribe to her OnlyFans, you can see her butthole for $6. So I'm pretty sure that, you know, might classify her as one. Next, we have my oldest sister. She is the one that's the hardest to deal with, hardest to handle. She's an attention whore. She doesn't care if it's good or bad. It could be, you know, burning down the school or getting straight A's. It could be cutting her wrists or winning the Nobel Prize. As long as you're talking and thinking about her, that's all she cares about. In fact, freshman year of college, she got drunk and made out with a couple of her dorm mates, and now she expects to be included in every LGBTQYRZ. I don't know how many letters there are nowadays, but I try to get all the letters in. But she wants to be in that conversation. That's her gang now, and if you don't include her, she gets very upset. I'm like, listen, lady, like, you gotta do a little more. Like, go out there, get you a nice butch haircut, put on a strap on, and really earn your stripes. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, we have my middle sister, and she is the one that I'm the most proud of. She is what I would call a war whore. You see, my sister, one day she had a conversation with her Bush, and like the great Bush presidents we have, they love the military. Now my sister, she moves about every 2 or 3 years. She's got a great job. But you'll notice, no matter where she lives, she's always within a mile or 2 of a military base. And that's because she made the decision that she wants to sleep with the entire armed forces. You know what? I salute her for that. But when she walked onto a military base, you would think she's playing Pokemon, because if it's a D in a hole, she's got to catch them all, if you know what I'm saying. And you would think I would be embarrassed or, you know, disgusted by that. But in reality, I am so proud of my sister. Like, I salute her. Like, she has done more for the morale of our troops than the USO could ever do, okay? Like, I'm pretty sure her bunghole is federally funded. She is the definition of a team-building exercise for the military, and her mouth alone has stopped countless veteran suicides. So we should all try to be more like my sister, and just like, you know, on the way home tonight, if you see a homeless veteran, you know, give him a little BJ, something like that, you know, just help him out. You know, if you see one on the side of the road, just help him out. Whether it's a dollar or your right hand with your eyes closed, whatever helps, you know what I mean? Those guys need help. And so do I, clearly, if you haven't been hearing me up here. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm just trying to be, you know, trying to chase my dreams. And clearly, comedy might not work out, but I do have one other dream. I've always wanted to play professional basketball. Now, let's be real. The New York Knicks, that's never going to happen. But hey, we can follow. I would love to play for the Knicks. I would love to, but like, look at me, dude. I got man titties, you know what I'm saying? But the New York Liberty, who knows, okay? We can follow in the footsteps of our great American heroes. We've got, you know, Caitlyn Jenner, she was freaking on a box of Wheaties, you know what I'm saying? And we've got Leah Thomas out there breaking all these records. We got that lady out in New Zealand crushing all those weightlifting things, but my question is, how many shots of estrogen do I have to take before they'll let me try out for a WNBA team? And then further on with those questioning, how many shots in do I just like start watching Grey's Anatomy all the time and complaining about everything? How many shots in can I never decide on what restaurant I want to go to ever again? And can I keep, my stuff? And at the end of the day, if they give me like a Wendy's commercial and my own signature sneakers, like, you can cut this thing right off and have it, guys. Like, I will give it up for the right price. Like, if they're gonna set me up nicely, give me a nice contract, like, you guys can have this little thing. Like, it doesn't mean that much to me. But that's looking like where I'm headed after this, is I'm gonna go get some shots of estrogen. Now, I'll give you guys a tip. I'm really good with tips. Fellas, if you like to do like gay stuff, but you're not like ready to come out to your group of friends and you want to do some gay shit with the homies, all you need is drugs, okay? Seriously, like, if you do ecstasy with all your boys, no one's gonna bat an eye when you start dealing out back rubs, okay? If you do heroin, you can nod out face first right into a dude's lap, and they're not gonna think much of it. If you take like acid or mushrooms, a penis and a popsicle look eerily similar. And if you like get a bad enough addiction to crack, like taking up the butt, that's just a cheap way to score some rock, guys. Just trying to save some money, And I'm telling you guys, these tips really do work. In fact, I took 3 Advil yesterday, and all my buddies let me blow them. So feel free to use these tips as you will, because they really do work. Now, I really do like giving tips, and the other thing I like doing, in Pasco County, you see, we don't have a lot to do. We don't have like the beaches of St. Pete or the nightlife of Tampa, so you gotta get creative when you wanna have fun out there. So one thing I do is, 2 things I really love are Taco Bell and vigilante justice. So I found, like, no matter what, there's always a Taco Bell within a couple miles of a Walmart, okay? And at Walmart, if you go there, especially like after a certain time, it's just the worst people on the planet in that place shopping, The ones you got are like the drunk, really bad teenagers. You've got the really mean, ignorant Karens. And then you've got like the old people that just do not care about anything but themselves. So what I do is I go to Taco Bell, and something about Taco Bell is the reason all those same people I mentioned, they also eat at Taco Bell and shop at Walmart, because the old people like to eat at Taco Bell because it's like taking like a stool softener, but it tastes much better. The young people like going there because it's cheap, and the pissed off Karens, they just want to get their kids something cheap to the drive-thru and get out of there. But then, so what I do is I go and I buy an obnoxious amount of bean burritos, scarf them down, and then I head over to the Walmart. I walk around the electronics section for about 15 to 20 minutes until my stomach gives me the signal. And that's when I go on the hunt, and I wait, and I wait for someone to be doing something they should not be doing. Like if you're screaming at an employee, if you're like bumping into someone's cart, something like that, I will just walk right over and pretend I'm going to buy the thing directly in front of you, and I just bend down and rip right in your face. Right there. And it's really fun, because usually when it's like the bad kids, they're at the perfect level where you just like smacking them in the mouth with a fart. Because at the end of the day, the way I see it, if you're gonna do shitty things, you should smell shitty smells. Now, thank you guys for your time. Keep it going for your host, and have a great night.